conclusions. Thank you for being the source of our guidance today. In his name, amen.
Amen.
Can I have the roll call, please?
Chairman Bose,
Here.
Vice Chair Smith, absent. Commissioner Cook,
Present.
I'm for Mr. Smith, that's my son.
What?
Did you say Mr. Smith? Chauncey Smith?
no, I was calling the roll for Vice Chair Smith.
Okay.
Commissioner Harvey,
Present.
Commissioner Moore,
Present.
Commissioner Paris,
Present.
and Commissioner Tufts, absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just reading a text from Commissioner Smith. It ends up that won't be able to communicate with us at the meeting. All right. Thank you. So we have 2 absent. All right. Have you identified, Ms. Winter, have you identified any callers on any of the matters before us tonight?
We do have a large number of callers. Which project they have called for, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Okay, so have we received any email communications or any other written communications other than what you recently distributed to us earlier this afternoon?
We've received uncontested letters for all of the projects, and we received comment letters for that you also received on Friday, I believe.
So that's all.
Yes, that's it.
All right, thank you. So if anyone who is wishing to speak on any agendized item, when those items will be called or are called, the recording secretary will invite those who wish to speak on the matter, and you need to follow her instructions as we move through the agenda. All right, then, the first item is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of September 21st, 2020. Have a motion, please?
I move to approve the minutes from September 21st, 2020.
I'll second that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll second that. Your turn next.
Very good. All right. Are there any additions, comments, corrections, or concerns? If not, please call the roll, Ms. Winter.
Commissioner Moore,
Present.
we're voting on the item.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Commissioner Paris,
Present.
Commissioner Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Present and yes.
and Chairman Bose.
You know, there is an appropriate vote as of present according to our bylaws. However, it doesn't count as a yes or a no. So, but we're all present and we all voted yes. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
All
Motion
right.
passes 5 with 2 absent.
502.
5-0, 2 absent.
All right, thank you. Never a dull moment with our group, that's for sure. All right then, just for the record, and Ms. Winder did announce it, we have received written communication from all of the applicants for the projects, action item projects before us this evening, known as uncontested letters. Those letters indicate that the applicants approve and are willing to accept the conditions of approval as written by the staff. Okay, so our first action item is a new public hearing on tentative tract map number 74965, which is a time extension. Just for the record, and we have all heard this matter previously. Last week, actually, we have a staff meeting with our staff and the commission. We do not deliberate nor do we vote on the matter, but we do receive input from staff, so we are familiar with the matter before us. If there are any members of the public that wish to speak on this, Ms. Winter?
Chairman Bose?
Yeah.
Turn it over to Ms. Winter and the public. As a housing authority director for the city of Lancaster, I am considered the applicant for 74965. And for that reason, I will have to recuse myself on this matter.
All right, very good.
Commissioner Cook to text me when I'm available to come back in. Thank you.
All right, we still have a quorum, correct? Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes, okay. All right. So do we have any speakers on this?
At this time, the public phone lines are now open for those wishing to speak on the public hearing for tentative tract map 74965. Any callers wanting to comment, please press *6 now. State your name and then wait until you are called upon. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. It does not appear that we have any callers.
All right, thank you. All right. Any of the members wish to hear the staff report again on this matter? Hearing none, then we'll close the public hearing and consider a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 20.21, granting a 2-year time extension to December 18, 2022 for approval of tentative tract map. We have a call.
All right, thank you.
I second.
Thank you. If there's nothing further, please call the roll.
Commissioner Paris?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Chairman Bose?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0, 1 recused, 2 absent.
Thank you. So we'll wait a moment for Commissioner Harvey to rejoin us. Commissioner Harvey is back, so we're now back to 5 members. So the next public hearing is on tentative tract map number 80290. Without objection, the public hearing is open on this matter. Do we have any speaker on this item, Ms. Winter?
At this time, the public phone lines are now open for those wishing to speak on the public hearing for tentative tract map 80290. Any callers wanting to comment, please press *6 now, state your name, and then wait until you are called upon. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
This is Carl Malik.
Good
Hi.
evening, Carl.
Hi, how are you?
All right, Carl, did you care to offer something, or you're just standing by if there's any?
Chairman Boza and Commissioner, we're in agreement with the conditions and the staff report. I just want to let you know I am available if you have any questions.
All right, very good, thank you. Anyone else?
It does not appear like there are any more callers.
Okay, thank you. Members, do you care to hear the staff report on this item? Nope, all right then. So without objection, we'll close the public hearing and consider a motion on tentative track map number 80290 time extension.
I'll make the motion to adopt resolution number 20-22, granting a 3-year extension to November 26, 2023 for tentative track map number 80290 for a 74 single-family residential lot subdivision in the R7000 zone. APNs 3150-029-003 and 3150-029-004.
That's second. Oh, I'll let
Thank you. Thank you. Anything further from the members? All right, then please call the roll.
Commissioner Paris,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
yes.
Commissioner Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Chairman Bose.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0, 2 absent.
Thank you. All right, the next item is also a public hearing. So this is a public hearing on tentative track map number 61921. So without objection, this item is open. Do we have, well, we have received 2 comment letters on this, one from Caltrans and a 32-pager from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. Oh, and all the commissioners did receive a distribution on this. I'm sure you all read every word. So, Ms. Winter, would you care to determine if there are any speakers on this item?
At this time, the public phone lines are now open for those wishing to speak on the public hearing for tentative track map 61921. Any callers wanting to comment, please press *6 now, state your name, and then wait until you are called upon. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. And it does not appear that we have any callers for this item.
No speakers.
No speakers.
All right. I'd like to hear the staff report on this since we received substantial communications, and I anticipate further input. So Ms. Swain, if you would please.
Chairman Bose and members of the commission, before you tonight is tentative track map number 61921 on approximately 20 acres at the northeast corner of Avenue J and 40th Street West. The proposed project consists of approximately 72 single-family residential lots in the R7000. Lot sizes within the development would range from a little over 7,000 square feet to not quite 11,000 square feet. The primary entrances to the subdivision would be from Avenue J, 38th Street West, and New Grove Street, with interior streets connecting to the subdivision to the east. The streets within the subdivision would be public as they complete public roadways within the existing tract. A meandering sidewalk would be provided along Avenue J and 40th Street West. Landscaping would be provided along the perimeter of the subdivision and in the front yards of the individual lots at the time of construction. The initial study was prepared for the proposed project and circulated for a 30-day public review and comment period. 2 comment letters were received. The first was received from Caltrans which really didn't have any issues with the analysis. However, they were requesting that we change our standards for vehicle miles traveled to include other information. Our standards have already been adopted, and this project is exempt from a vehicle miles traveled analysis due to it being located in an area that has less than 15% or has 15% less vehicle miles traveled than the average threshold established by the city. Additionally, Caltrans has no authority over the city standards within city properties and city streets. They only have authority over public highways within the state of California. The other letter comes from the California Department of Fish and Game, and most of the issues that they raised within their comment letter are already covered within the initial study, and we have adequate mitigation measures to address those concerns. Joshua trees were recently listed as a candidate species by the California Fish and Game Commission, and as such, we included in the initial study language that said that the applicant would comply with any standards in the event that it was listed. The other issue that was raised was apparently there is a special status bumblebee, which is also a candidate species that the city was unaware of. We cannot actually add in the mitigation requested by Fish and Wildlife because it is not discussed within the initial study, and staff is requesting that we continue this meeting to December in order to recirculate the initial study with the requested analysis. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. Members? Anyone have any questions? I do, but
Well, I thought I heard special species of bumblebee. Is that
That is correct.
okay?
Apparently in July of 2019, the California Fish and Game Commission listed 4 bumblebee species in the state of California as candidate species. An official determination is due by December of this year. One of those species has the potential to occur on site, and they've requested 2 mitigation measures. One, that detailed surveys are conducted during the flying season a year before development activities occur. And the other one is if impacts cannot be avoided, that they would obtain an incidental take permit. But I can't add those conditions to the project because there's no nexus since we didn't discuss it in the initial study.
Got it. Okay. Understood. Okay. Thank you.
so there's besides the Croach bumblebee issue that was raised, and I guess maybe we ought to back up just a little bit so we can clearly understand the process. We've been through this a number of times with mitigated neg decks. However, it appears that CDFW's input is far broader than what the city's initial study conducted at the city's business with the applicant's consultants, I'm assuming. So, I mean, the way I read the CDFW's comment letter, I mean, they're giving us 8 or 9 pages of proposed mitigations on items, not just the bumblebee and the Joshua trees, but they're talking about the other items that were pointed out, but much more extensive mitigation measures. So, they also talked about the legless lizard. Ryan?
So I actually went back and looked at the biological report prepared for the project in 2019. And I went back to the biological report prepared for the previous version of this track map in 2005. And in neither instance did the biologist determine that there was suitable habitat or the lizard on site, which is why it was not included in the initial study, because there's no reference to it in the biological reports.
Okay, I understand that. We don't have the benefit of the biological report. All we have is the conclusions that are in the staff report and California Department of Fish and Wildlife's comment letter.
Correct.
And so there's a gap. I'm not questioning whether or not there was adequate analysis done by staff by any means. What I'm trying to get to is these items that were raised, if they are, if you're suggesting we should continue this matter so further analysis can be done by a botanist, I'm assuming, for the bumblebee, which is what I've heard. Now, I don't know if it's a botanist or a biologist or.
It would be an entomologist. However, the entomologist, the survey can't be done now. The survey for the bee cannot be done now because it's outside of the bee's flying season.
It's only a 2-month window, right?
For the bee, apparently it's March 1st to September 1st. And that's when they're above ground. I was totally unaware that bees had a non-flying season.
Chairman
All right.
Bose, the actual reports don't necessarily need to be updated, but we need to account for that analysis in the environmental document. Ultimately, the reports and the observations of the bees could be deferred, but we need to at least account for it and include it into the narrative. That is mostly why we're requesting that we continue this item, to be able to incorporate the added comments and suggested mitigation from Department of Fish and Wildlife.
So the other 9 items that they raised, some of which staff has addressed, do you anticipate that you will be including further analysis on any of those other items or not?
I can add additional clarification to the document. If I'm already recirculating for biological resources, then I can add additional language regarding those issues.
I mean, it's pretty clear. It just seems to me it's pretty clear the way the CDFW's comment letter was written. If one wished to exclude and protect, so-called protect, these endangered species, whether they exist or not, yet to be determined in one case. That's that this, for all intents and purposes, this property couldn't be developed, and
It would definitely make it more difficult.
which to me flies in the face of what the intent of the housing needs in this state, as promulgated by the state legislature and the governor, who in effect create the California Department of Fish and Wildlife and have oversight on it.
So for the other issues that they actually raised, I don't see the need to change our mitigation measures. I can just put more clarification language in the analysis, because some of those measures, so like the lily measure.
Well, let's talk about probably the most primary one is the Joshua trees. I mean, there's 6
There's 6.
on the site. 1 or 2 may be specimen. There's a couple more that could be.
One that's about 2 feet tall.
Yeah, and then there's a couple that aren't. However, when you read the outline of what the Fish and Wildlife talk about, is there's no mitigation on Joshua trees. Unless I missed something,
There is, there,
other than a 50-foot buffer around it. So, I mean,
There is in the 2084 that they adopted for certain solar projects in the state, it does outline a way of mitigating for the Joshua trees. There's also the ability to acquire off-site Joshua tree habitat as a mitigation measure. And it also outlines how you determine the amount of impact, and the impact is determined based on the height of the tree and a specified radius from said tree.
However, the mitigation measures proposed in the Fish and Wildlife letter doesn't address that at all.
No, it simply says prepare a report and submit it to them and get an incidental take permit.
Well, it says more than that. It talks about, I mean, it offers mitigation measures, including that. So, you know, it, anyway. And they also talk, you know, we've got the alkali Mariposa lily, right? We know it's there. But they also talk about other flora that supposedly needs to be analyzed and determine whether it exists or not.
So technically, there's no suitable habitat for those other species. It becomes very difficult to determine whether they are present or absent because a survey for sensitive plant species is actually dependent on having a good rain year. There are no established mitigation protocols for any of these species, which is why the city has their own alkali Mariposa lily mitigation measure, because Fish and Game has never told us what they want.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not happy with, first of all, with the way Fish and Wildlife responded, typically at the 11th hour, right? 5 minutes before the 30-day period is up, which is very typical, which now pushes this project out another period of time. At least, I have no idea what the applicant's intent is, but it would be next November or December before dirt could move on this property, assuming that it's adequately studied and mitigation measures are in place, and they are then mitigation measures that a applicant then can comply with and actually build the project.
Correct.
Would that be fair?
That's a fair assessment. The other thing I would like to point out is that when we get a project in, we do an agency mailing, and one of the entities that we send the project in at the very beginning is Fish and Wildlife. And they receive a copy of the site plan plus a copy of the biological report. And I'm just looking at the case file, and it doesn't look like they ever responded back on that agency mailing. And that procedure was set up back in 2004 to give Fish and Game an early ability to comment so that the city knew what they wanted to see addressed.
Well, and ultimately, in their closing, they talked about the preponderance of 6 or 7 or 8 track maps out in that quadrant, and the necessity for an environmental impact report. We've been down that road before.
That's actually why the biological impact fee was established for the city back in 2005. And that fee was to account for the cumulative loss of biological resources throughout the city. That gets paid into a fund, and we've gone and acquired conservation property, which is under easement. And to date, the city has funded the acquisition of well over 800 acres of habitat that is representative of what was found in the Antelope Valley.
Prime Desert Woodland it would be one example, right?
That was actually a park that was set up a while ago, but we have purchased, Joshua tree habitat out by Ripley. We've purchased property out by the Poppy Preserve. We've purchased property close to Angeles Forest National Forest. We've purchased property out north of Edwards Air Force Base that has Mojave ground squirrel and desert tortoise on it. And that's been within the past 10 years.
So if we did nothing and ignored CDFW's letter and agreed to approve the project and certify the environmental document as proposed prior to this discussion,
Correct.
the liability is the state could bring suit, or someone else could.
That is correct.
We would be compromising the city, and we would basically be approving a document that isn't very legally defensible. I would recommend against the commission doing that,
I concur.
and so does our city attorney.
I would too. But my concern is the issues that are raised, that each and every one of them be thoroughly analyzed and make sure that we meet the standard, whether it's minimum or maximum or somewhere in between. I'm not sure what that should be. But, you know, I hear what you're saying. It's difficult to determine certain flora. Well, dandy. However, if it exists, how do we know? I mean, you've got the issue with supposed riparian flow through there, right?
You have two potential stream beds, for lack of a better word.
You got two ditches that the city grades periodically.
That is correct.
To allow.
And the
allow
neighbors,
water.
the east, overwater their lawns, and it runs off and creates habitat.
So my question is that I know the former city engineer, now assistant city manager, Mr. Nibla, is listening. So did this particular piece of real estate give drainage acceptance to the tract that's dumping water on it now?
In the past, when that tract was built?
In the past, well, whomever built the tract to the east.
We'd have to do the research. I don't know off the top of my head.
I think that's.
I'm assuming it's likely that they didn't, and that this is just a creation of something that's happened since the track was built.
So you've got non-native vegetation growing out there. I mean, substantial. You know, a lot of nesting bird opportunities in there. On and on and on. I mean, it's going to be a challenge, and it would appear that future new tracks will be highly scrutinized by Fish and Wildlife. So it seems like it's a new day for what we've seen in the past. Now, we haven't had many new tracks. So I don't know. I don't know what that means ultimately. You guys do a great job on analysis on these things, but it was kind of a shock to me to see some of the comments. I mean, I figure Fish and Wildlife comes up with some strange stuff periodically, but this was kind of way out there somewhere.
I was really surprised. I had skimmed the comment letter and seen the stuff on the Joshua trees, and was pleasantly surprised that they had actually kind of outlined a procedure to go through. Did not pay attention to the number of pages the first time I opened it, and when I opened it the second time was very surprised that there were 32.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, all right then. Anything further from anyone? Congratulations, Trolleys, on your promotion.
Thank you.
I don't know if everybody, if our team knows that you were promoted to assistant city manager.
Yes, effective today. So today was actually my first day, or is my first day on that job.
And you
So
survived the day.
this will be my last planning commission meeting in the city engineer role.
So what are we going to end? What's going to happen with the?
Can we close the hearing and take a motion, please? I was going to actually highlight Mr. Niebla at the end, but we're still on an item.
Okay. We'll wait. All right. Anything further from anyone on this before we consider a motion to continue till December? Or continue until you're ready? Appropriate.
We would recommend continuing to December. That gives staff enough time to coordinate and recirculate the environmental document. If it goes beyond December, then we would renotice the item. For now, we are good to continue to a date certain.
To keep the application active?
Correct.
Okay, super. All right, thank you. All right then, so we'll consider a motion then to continue to the regular meeting of December or whatever it is.
Okay, I'll make a motion to continue tentative track map 61921 via adopting a resolution for number 2123 until the December meeting of 2020.
Thank you.
Ms. De La Cruz, does that work?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Beautifully done.
Okay.
All right. Who has seconded that? Mr. Moore, Commissioner Moore seconded it?
Second.
Oh, Mr. Paris did. Thank you. All right, anything further? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Paris,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Moore,
Present.
Yes. I had my mute on, sorry.
Commissioner Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Chairman Bose.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0, 2 absent.
Thank you. All right then, and the last action item is a public hearing on conditional use permit 87-04. Okay. So without objection, public hearing's open on this. We did get correspondence on this previously, so I don't know if anyone else is on the line wishing to speak to us. Ms. Winter?
At this time, the public phone lines are now open for those wishing to speak on public hearing CUP 87-04. Any callers wanting to comment, please press *6 now, state your name, and then wait until you are called upon. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. And it does not appear that we have any speakers.
All right, thank you. All right then, we heard a brief staff report previously. Does anyone here, any member care to hear another staff report? No? All right. So then, without objection, we'll close the public hearing and consider a motion on this item.
I move to adopt resolution number 20-24, approving an amendment to conditional use permit 87-04 to allow for the operation of a daycare facility within the existing church buildings located at 725 East Avenue J, APN 3146-013-010.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. Thanks very much. All right then, anything further? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Paris,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
Yes.
Chairman Bose.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0, 2 absent.
Thank you. All right then, Okay, Larissa, now you can tell us about Mr. Nibla.
Thank you. I wanted to take a moment on behalf of the group to thank and acknowledge Mr. Niebla, congratulating him for his new role as the Assistant City Manager. He leaves our group under Development Services as the City Engineer, where he has led the Traffic Engineering and Maintenance Division, the Building and Safety Division. Some of his accomplishments with the city are the creation of the North LA County Transportation Joint Powers Authority, the city's Master Plan of Complete Streets, and the city's Safer Streets Action Plan. That's just to name a few. Mr. Trelease is known for his calm and cool demeanor and for being practical and having common sense and just being an overall good guy. So we want to thank him for being, and he's getting a thumbs up, I could see from Mr. Paris. We are extremely happy for him. We will miss him tremendously. He has been an asset to our group. Myself, selfishly, I will miss Trelease significantly. And I speak on behalf of the entire Development Services team that we couldn't be any happier for him. But we did want to take a moment to just thank him and acknowledge him, congratulate him, and wish him a farewell to the upstairs where Mr. Niebla will be located moving forward. And this is, in fact, his last meeting. So thank you, Trelease, and don't forget about us little people. And now we have to be nice to him, so.
Congratulations.
Well, I'm going to stalk you because we just live a few doors down. I'm always stalking you, looking through your windows at night, so.
Well, the good thing is, since he's had all this experience with us, then we'll have a friend on the second floor, right?
Correct.
We need all the friends we can get.
I definitely will, so.
What a huge accomplishment, Trelease. I wish you nothing but the best, and it's a great achievement, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, truly well-deserved, Trelease. Truly well-deserved.
Thank you.
Very nice, very good. Well, we will miss your calm demeanor.
Yes.
That balances some of us. I don't know who that would be, but some of us.
Thank you for the time here and allowing me to participate in the Planning Commission meeting for, I think it's been about 4 years now since I took over from Michelle. You guys have kind of trained me up, and now I'm ready for the council meetings, hopefully. So looking forward to moving on to those. And thank you, Larissa. I'm not actually going anywhere, so the good news is we still get to work together. And thanks, everyone.
Very good. Well, it's well deserved. Congratulations. All right. So, anything else, Ms. De La Cruz?
That's it for tonight.
All right, very good. Thank you. Do we anticipate having a meeting in November?
Not at this point. We don't have any items. So we will most likely cancel the November meeting, and we will confirm in a couple of weeks.
All right, well, we'll keep the dates open just in case, but don't anticipate having a meeting.
Correct.
All right. Very good, thank you. All right then, this would be time for public business from the floor on any non-agendized items. So folks who may be on the line can speak to us relative to non-agenda items. We can't take any action on those. However, we'd be happy to hear from you. So Ms. Winter?
At this time, the public phone lines are now open for those wishing to speak on public business from the floor, non-agendized items. Any callers wanting to comment, please press *6 now, state your name, and then wait until you are called upon. And I think we're good. We don't have any speakers.
None. All right. Very good. Thank you. So we would then stand adjourned to our special meeting on Monday, November 9th, 2020 at 4:30 p.m. In this venue, I am assuming we will still be doing meetings electronically for the near future, I am anticipating, at least from the looks of it. All right. Thank you all very much. Have a pleasant evening. Appreciate your participation, hard work.
Thank you, Chairman,
Pleasant evening.
staff.